It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to 2K Sports. I'm here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Tonight, we'll see the Los Angeles Clippers as they play against the Los Angeles Lakers. Taking a look at the Lakers, dismal record over the last 10 games, just 2-8. Nothing seems to be going their way right now. And Kenny, we have lots to talk about. One thing coming up on the horizon, the trade deadline. Front offices have had time to evaluate rosters. What are your feelings about blockbuster in-season trades?
Huge deals are rare in the season, Ernie. You know,
Huge deals.
You know, but typically they come in the offseason because teams have time to nurture and bring them together. But there have been some great trades in mid-season. So you can find new life right after the trade deadline, a la Clyde Drexler of the Houston Rockets, to get us our second championship.
Good point. New players would be slow to acclimate. But, Ernie, I think at times you risk disrupting chemistry.
Sometimes worth the risk and sometimes not.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like a nut and sometimes I don't.
Kevin Harlan, take it away.
Welcome, everyone, to the sold-out Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles, California. It's the home of the Lakers, where we're broadcasting live today for 2K Sports. Happy holidays, everyone, from all of us at 2K Sports. And do we have a present for you today? Hi, everyone. I'm Kevin Harlan, along with Greg Anthony, Brett Berry, and our sideline reporter, Hall of Famer David Aldridge. And joining us in the booth for tonight's game, the incredibly talented Kobe Bryant. Kobe, thanks for once again joining us.
No, thank you, man. Thank you for letting me be a part of the team.
This game marks the end of this stretch at home for the Lakers. Back on the road tomorrow. Try as they might, they've fallen behind the pack, but a chance here to reclaim some ground. It might be tough, but this is a team they're capable of beating.
And there's history, some bad blood between these two teams that makes it all the more interesting.
Well, that much more competitive, too, and that's the compelling part here in this matchup. You play so many games in an NBA season. This is the one you get up for.
Here are the 5 for the Clippers. Patrick Beverley out there with Avery Bradley. Then there's Gallinari. Then there's DeAndre Jordan. And it's Harris in at the 4 spot. No good from Jordan. And there's the call on DeAndre Jordan. That is his first foul of the game. Well, you got to play against some great defenders in the NBA like Draymond Green of Golden State and others. What are some of the things that, I mentioned Draymond Green, that he does as a player that you think separates him from the rest of the defensive guys in the league?
He does his research. He does his homework.
You can tell.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can tell. When you watch him play, he puts himself in position before the offensive player even attacks. And how does he know that? Because he's watching film. He studies. He knows the player's tendencies. And so when you mix in the research to go along with his frame and the quick hands and the foot speed, then you have a defensive player that's a force.
For a guy like yourself who made an incredible amount of three-point shots during your career, what is it like watching Steph Curry? Just how much has he changed the league? It was always watching the dunks of Jordan. Now it's, we got kids that want to shoot the ball from distance.
Yeah. Shooting the ball from distance now has kind of become like a home run in baseball, right? Where it's exciting to watch the ball in flight. I think it's great because it just adds more love to the game, more things that players could do that, or kids can do that can't dunk. Right? It's like dunking was the thing, right? But now for kids that can't dunk, there's something else that's fun. There's something else that's entertaining, like shooting threes. Right? So
but boy, that takes a lot of work. Huh?
Yeah, it sure does. I mean, it's a lot of repetition.
Hundreds of shots daily.
Yeah, and it's a lot of repetition. I mean, you know, Steph, you watch him out there playing and making all these shots. He's put in hours and hours and hours of hard work and continues to do so.
Free throw good from Bradley. With that three-point shooting on the rise, Kobe, if you were coming into the league right now, would you try to lean more in that direction than the incredible acrobat that you were when you were in your prime?
It depends who I was playing against. You know, I try to build my game to be able to do all those things. And
you could. I mean, you're like one of the few guys that could do it.
Yeah, so it just depends on who I was matching up against, which determines then how I would try to punish the defense.
I like that word.
Yeah. I was trying to think of a softer one. And I was like, no, punish is a good one.
You're honest. Well, Kobe, something that's such a huge tool in the NBA and the team's offense is the pick and roll, the screen roll game. You've done it as well as anybody. Just how are the nuances and the attention to detail important to make that play work?
Well, it's really important, but the screen roll today is run differently than it was, say, when Utah was running it with Stockton and Malone. What you're seeing now is more of a spread floor screen roll action where it makes rotations very difficult because you have to rotate off of shooters at a distance.
Right.
So now what you tend to see more teams try to down pick and roll coverages and sending guys to one side of the floor and try to play the screen roll coverage with 2 men and try to not have 3 guys in the action. You have to rotate and now push your team behind. Right, and that it's a dance of, can you play the screen roll with just 2 guys? And on offense, can I force you to have a 3rd guy come in and rotate? If I can do that offensively, then you're behind.
Here's Beverley. That shot misses. And the Lakers going the other way now. Want to keep rolling here following the win against Memphis.
And you know what? Up against a weak defense, they were allowed to do pretty much whatever they wanted.
Yeah, what I like, though, besides that, is that they just didn't settle for it because weak defenses, you could take bad shots. That's not what they did here tonight.
The Clippers have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. And Kobe, how did you learn to watch tape? Because there are guys now watching tape and they'll just go, and you wonder if it's really even sinking in.
Trial and error.
Yeah, right. But really, that was it.
Trial and error. You know, you start looking at things, you start saying, man, like if I'm watching an edit on a player and I watch one particular game and then I look at the next game, he's doing the same thing. And the next night, he's doing the same thing. Hold on, let me go back and watch. And then you start looking for consistent behaviors or patterns in their behavior. And then you think, okay, maybe that's something that's a tendency for him. Let me go back and check. 2 dribbles, turn. 2 dribbles, turn. 2 dribbles, turn. 2 dribbles, turn. 2 dribbles. Oh, my God. Yeah,
there
that's
it is.
it.
Here's the pattern.
Right, so what if I interrupt him between his first and second dribble and throw him off a rhythm? What'll happen then? Right? What if I know he's going to go 1-2, turn right shoulder? I let him go 1-2. Now I jump to his right shoulder. Now you can't turn there. What happens then? Right? You throw them off of their patterns.
Love the determination he showed there, getting himself into good position under the glass.
With the presence of mind to know just where the rebound was going to come down. Well timed. Now the feed to Gallinari. And the rebound goes to Lopez.
No doubt disappointed with that one. He'd love to have that one back.
Yeah, I'd put that play on repeat. The setup was perfect. Just need a better result next time.
You know, we talk about it all the time, guys. Those second chance buckets, always the result of that extra effort.
Hey, Kobe, after dedicating pretty much your entire life to the game of basketball, a game that I know you love, you said you don't miss it. Why is that?
Well, because I've been through that process. I mean, I started playing the game when I was like 2 years old, and playing professionally for 20 years, and I left no stone unturned. So there's no regrets there. I've done everything I could possibly do, and truthfully, the game is still with me. The discipline has changed. The industry might have changed, but the same approach, the same things that I've learned from the game, I carry with me to this day. So the game is still inside of me.
Here's Ball. He had 10 points in the win against Memphis.
A lot of those plays came off tremendous hustle. He was committed to ripping down as many rebounds as he possibly could in this one.
Kobe, any chance you might coach or might be a consultant to an organization, for instance?
Nah.
No, not at all.
Listen, players reach out to me and they'll call me and I'll give them advice, and I like it better that way as opposed to being tied down with one particular franchise. And I like what I'm doing now, and any player from all over the world can reach out, and I'm there for them in terms of providing advice or counsel.
Well, the story got out last year in the playoffs that Isaiah Thomas and you had some conversations.
Yeah. Well, he reached out and had some questions about how to approach that particular series, and I just said, send me over the film. What are you looking at? And I'll tell you. I'll take a look at it and I'll tell you what I see, and then you can go from there.
Just 4 to shoot. And it's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over. Just a moment to look back at how things were last season for this team as we look at the shot breakdown for Los Angeles.
And they concentrated a lot on creating open looks from beyond the arc. Player movement, finding space on the perimeter, that was their #1 priority.
The Lakers in the lead. Lopez, a screen on Beverly. Here's Ball, and Jordan sends it back.
And Jordan, a defensive stalwart, crushing the opposition with his shot blocking.
Pass to Gallinari. And with all the different technological advances in the league, you see a lot of player and coaches now reviewing clips and tablets and a lot of film sessions. I know you used to study a lot of the league's videotapes. How much easier is film study now, say, from the time in the late 90s when you got in the NBA?
It's so much easier.
Really?
Oh, my God. Right? When I used to get in the hotel rooms, you used to have to call the front desk. They used to roll up the TV on the wheels.
With the VCR machine.
With the VCR connected to it, right? And I have to have all of these tapes, and you got to put the tape in, and you got to rewind it, and you got to fast forward it, and you got to rewind it.
Yeah.
Now it's just everything's right there in front of you, right? And it's very easy to skip and go to the next game and then jump back to the game before or fast forward to the fourth quarter. I mean, it's so easy now.
Here's Bradley following the basket by Brook Lopez. Beverly for 3, but they recover it. Outside Jordan. Here's Gallinari, and it's good. Assisting on the play was Jordan.
And this is what it's all about, guys. The competitive spirit, the energy that we're seeing. This one's got the feeling like it's going to go down to the wire.
And if it does, as evenly as these two teams have played here, it's anyone's guess who's going to come out on top.
Here's Randall. Gallinari making his last shot. 5 on the clock. Here's Caldwell Pope, and Jordan sends it back. Here's Bradley. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. Well, Kobe, you look at all the former Defensive Player of the Year, and they're almost always big men. You were a 9-time first-team all-defensive selection in the NBA. Do you think guards sometimes get overlooked at the impact they have in a game and a play?
Yeah, they definitely do.
All the time, huh?
I think the bigs have a huge responsibility in protecting the rim. And those things are very easy to measure.
Right, block shots.
Blocks
and exactly.
Whether
Rebounding.
you're altering shots or defensive rebounds. For guards, it's tougher. Guards is tougher. But still in all, there's some guards out there who have done it. You know, Michael and Gary Payton and, Kawhi Leonard, I count him as a guard. They're just phenomenal defensive players.
Where does that mindset come from, that defensive mindset, when you're an offensive gifted player like yourself?
Well, I think that's a truly competitive person. Some players will call themselves competitive, but you're not truly competitive if you only compete at one end of the floor. That's not what true competitive people do.
A platoon swap here for the Lakers. Big group substitution here for the Clippers. Marjanovic checked in for DeAndre Jordan. Montrezl Harrell comes in for Tobias Harris. Austin Rivers, he's checked in for Gallinari. And Teodosic subbed in for Patrick Beverley. Kobe, you've made no bones about patterning your game after Michael Jordan. You watched him while growing up. Can you give us a little insight into the impact of what he meant to you and how he formed you in some ways?
Sure. Well, I think most players growing up, at least my generation, probably watched him play and saw all of the fancy plays, the dunks, the highlights, and things of that nature. What I focused on was how he got there. The moves, the timing, the fundamentals, the spacing, the rhythm. That's what I studied meticulously. And so when I watched him play, I think I watched him play a little differently than others. Having not going to college and all these other things, growing up overseas, I had to learn the fundamentals by watching and observing the greats, and to the most minute detail.
Two shots.
That free throw good from Thomas. Lou Williams is checked in for Bradley. Both free throws good from Isaiah Thomas. Kobe, the league seems to be moving away from isolation basketball, sometimes called hero ball, in favor of more ball movement, more of a fluid offense. What do you make of that trend?
Well, I think it's the right thing. I mean, if you look at the way the Knicks played, for example, when they had Bill Bradley, Busher, Phil was coming off the bench.
Well, you are a historian. You love the history of the game, don't you?
Oh, my God.
I mean, I can just tell working with you.
Yeah. Holtzman was coaching. You had Frazier out there. I mean, they moved the ball. I mean, everything was predicated on ball movement, as was the Celtics with Fred Auerbach. And then in the 80s, things changed a little bit. You start going to more isolation ball, where guys would post deep and force a double coverage to come all the way down to them, and then you start moving the ball around. Now you start seeing a spread offense, where the ball's moving again like it was when the Knicks were playing, when the Celtics were playing. And so, I think it just depends on the style of defense that you're seeing and the personnel that you have. I think that determines your style of play.
Now here's Rivers. He had 13 points in the win against Sacramento. And the trend around the league, Kobe, is more offense, more three-pointers, certainly spacing, fluid offense. Scoring is up around the league in a measurable way from, it seems like, year to year. Do you like the way this is trending, or do you think the NBA should maybe put a governor on this, harness it in just a little bit?
Well, I think it'll swing back to the way,
Do you?
Yeah, because the game has gone through that progression before. It's constantly evolving. And so I think you'll see it swing back eventually. You'll have a couple teams that are just big and may have a dominant post player, and all of a sudden you're going inside, and then that team will win a championship, and then the rest of the teams in the league will try to copycat the way the game is played that way, and things will swing back. So it's just natural evolution of the game, I think.
And here is Williams after Isaiah Thomas made that last three-pointer. Teodosic, the pass to Harrell. Over Fry. And two free throws coming up. Unable to get that one to go with all the contact. That's called on Channing Frye. The Clippers shooting their fifth and 6 free throws of the game.
And on the season, they're hitting about 76%, which is a decent rate.
first free throw is good. Kobe, you're a father. You've enjoyed that process, but basketball got in the way a lot of that. How do you balance fatherhood and playing at the level you played at?
Yeah, when I was winning championships there, our kids were still relatively young, or I should say babies. In my last few years, they were older and knew that they could really feel my absence. And so what I try to do is try to bring them along for the process. So there were mornings I would wake them up and say, let's go. So we're going. Well, Daddy's going to go train, so let's go.
No kidding.
And I bring them with me. And they'd be in the gym shooting around or kicking a soccer ball around or hitting a volleyball around. But I felt like it was important as a father to not just tell them about hard work, but they need to see what I'm doing. When you're sleeping, this is what I'm doing here for 3 hours. And so they're a part of the process and feel connected to the process. But traveling and things of that nature is very, very hard because there's been plenty of birthdays that I've missed and school plays that I've missed.
Thomas, it's a wide open look. It's good. The assist that time for Menace. Ennis has got his third assist on the night. Clippers trail by 3. Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Well, Luke Walton gave me a few minutes to catch up with him. Having split the 2 games so far this season, Coach told me he wants his team to be a little looser on offense. He said in the loss, we were static, overthinking each time down the floor. I prefer a more free-flowing approach tonight. We'll see if that extra freedom offensively works out, Kevin. Back to you.
Okay, thanks, D.A. And guys, what do you make of David's report putting a premium on offense right away?
I think it's a good plan, as long as it doesn't come at the expense of their defense. They can't ignore that part of the game.
Well, I love the fact that there's no player ever in the history of this league that gets excited about a coach who talks about we're really going to change up our defense and make sure that that's a priority. Guys are always excited about the O.
Traveling was a part of your job, a part of mine. You missed some things with the kids, but I know you take pride, Kobe, in the fact that you made it to a lot of things as well. You were not an absent parent.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's having a great partner. I mean, my wife has been absolutely amazing, which I think is extremely important as well, because she really held down the fort at home, which to me is the toughest job in the world to do. You know, I have it easy in terms of going out there and playing games, but to have the responsibility of actually raising young people to be outstanding citizens. You talk about pressure. I mean, that's you know, I have to ask her how she feels about handling that. You know what I mean? Because that's true pressure.
Yes, the Clippers trail. It's Williams with the drive and plenty of contact on the shot. So 2 free throws coming up. And the foul called on Los Angeles. First trip to the line for him here.
And he has grooved his stroke at the line this season and been able to maintain it with an average of 90%.
Ties it up, and this next one could give them the lead.
And Williams is sort of the classic instant offense guy. Whether he's coming off the bench or starting, he can provide a spark whenever they need one.
And they now lead as the free throw drops for him.
Yeah, a lot of whistles here early, as well as foul trouble starting to be an issue.
To the inside, here's Kuzma. That's in there. Thomas with the assist. It has been nip and tuck through the first half.
Exactly, guys. The way it's seesawed back and forth, unbelievable.
5 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Pass to Teodosic. Picked by Harrell. Teodosic, the pass to Harrell. Lets it go from deep. Rivers can't get it to go. Offside Thomas. And the bucket counts. 3-point chance here.
And guys, they continue to put a lot of pressure on the interior defenders with their work down low.
This is his 3rd free throw attempt of the game.
Gotta admire what he's been able to do at the free throw line this season. How about over 90%?
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
Williams for three. Got it off in time, but it's no good. Isaiah Thomas, he's feeling it tonight and has been the driving force for the Los Angeles Lakers. What an amazing quarter. There was absolutely no stopping him. We've got more in store for you right after this. And one of our game's most explosive dunkers, DeAndre Jordan, tells us what it feels like to be DeAndre Jordan.
And you jump 20 feet in the air, it's like you're flying for a quick second. And then I've learned that how good the dunk was on the reaction of my teammates.
And for a guy like DeAndre, and a guy of DeAndre's size, guys, it's hard to believe how fluid he is in the air.
He's got some body torque into those jams, and just all around, he seems to improve his game every year.
And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And taking a look at the Lakers' performance here, what have they been doing or not doing in the game?
I mean, through that first quarter, to me, it's all about their D.
Well, there's a lot of ways to build a lead. This one's built on stops.
We've got Channing Frye. Ennis out there with Thomas. Then it's Ivica Zubac. And it's Kuzma in at the 3 spot. That's the group for the Lakers to start the second quarter. Kobe, you were a player who lived in the gym. What motivated you as you go back and look at all those hours you spent in the gym to do that, to follow that path?
I loved it. I loved the game. It wasn't a matter of working hard. I didn't realize I was working hard until like my second or third year in the league, when I realized here in the NBA, a lot of players don't do that.
Right.
It was kind of a big shock to me. Like, I assumed everybody in the NBA
just worked hard.
Yeah, but to me, it wasn't hard work. It was like, I love doing this. Like, there's no place on earth I'd rather be than be here in this gym with a basketball in the hoop.
But the greats are always the hardest workers, aren't they? I mean, right, have you ever seen a great player who is not the hardest worker on their team?
No, I've seen players have great seasons, and, you know, and then the next season, it's not so much, right. And then they have another great one, and the consistency isn't there. Mm-hmm. The truly great players love what they do, and that looks like hard work to the outside world.
Did you enjoy playing the game? There was so much you put into the game, but did you enjoy the game?
I did. I enjoyed the game. I loved playing, you know, the competition and all that, the getting ready and all that. But I enjoyed practice more.
Did you?
I did. I enjoyed training and practice more than I did the games.
Wow.
And have to defend better in the paint. They just let him set up way too deep.
Well, he's going to punish you down there if you're not more physical than he is, and look for them to go right back to that play.
Kobe, there are a lot of great guards and wings in the league right now. When you look around, are there any that remind you of the way you played, or maybe are approaching, you know, going down that road and say, I want to be like Kobe Bryant? I watch a lot of his tapes, much like you did when you were growing up.
Yeah, well, Isaiah has a hunger and a thirst for the game, and he's not going to stop. He's constantly curious. He's constantly working.
His size makes him a different kind of guy, though.
Isn't that unbelievable, though?
It is shocking.
That's unbelievable. But he can finish at the rim. He can shoot the long ball. He can pull up left and right. You know, he has great physicality and a great body about him where he can punish bigs at the rim. And the other is Kawhi. I mean, when I watch Kawhi play, I'm just looking in the mirror. You know, the moves, the positions on the floor.
So glad you said that. I feel the same way.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, and it's a great, great feeling because, you know, I'm sure Michael felt the same way. When he retired and he watched me play, you're seeing the same spots. You're seeing a person who studied the person that came before, and there's no need to reinvent the wheel when the wheel's already been created. You just put it on a different car.
Well, you know, he has been guided by his coaching staff to watch you and Michael Jordan tape, and yeah. I think that's kind of what he's done.
Yeah, well, we've you know, connected. We've talked about this stuff before in the past, and, you know, again, he's a curious kid.
And all business.
Yeah, curious. He steps out on the floor, he's all business. There's nothing funny, there's nothing silly going on. He's here to do his job, and he's here to help San Antonio win games.
One shot, gentlemen.
Free throw, good from Frye. Kobe, you played in a big market like Los Angeles, one of the biggest in the world, but many are saying that market size matters less and less into the future of the NBA. Do you agree with that?
Well, in a certain aspect, yes, because of the digital age that we live in. I mean, the world is considerably smaller. You have access to market at the touch of a button.
So we see Milwaukee Bucks highlights with Antetokounmpo as much as we would see a Kobe Bryant highlight with Los Angeles.
Absolutely. But still, fundamentally, to play in a market like Los Angeles, you know, Los Angeles being the entertainment capital of the world, New York being the great market as well, it's hard to top those no matter how digitally enhanced our society becomes.
A lot of different ways to lead in the NBA, Kobe. It seems like your leadership style evolved over the course of your career. Talk about that aspect of your game.
Well, in the first half of my career, I was more of a tactician, more of a floor general. And then the second half of my career, I had to really start thinking about the emotions of the group and connecting with the group more and thinking more outside in as opposed to inside out. But I was also, I was very tough on guys. I wasn't there to make new friends. I was there to help you be the best player you can be, to help us win a championship.
Was it tough sometimes to have a guy that you were close to take some harsh criticism?
No, because the goal is what? To win a championship. This is why we're here. This is why I'm sitting in this leadership position. I owe it to the team to help us get in that direction. You know, we can sit here and be nice to each other and tell each other what we think we want to hear. And then at the end of the season, we can all hug each other and say, you know what, we'll get them next time.
And the first one at the line is good. Randall's checked in for Los Angeles. Hits them both.
Encouraging sign there to see him knock down the free throw.
Last outing for the Clippers. They won that game against Sacramento.
And this is why depth is so important. You know, next man up, and it's pretty much the philosophy for every good team in our league.
Well, you're going to have injuries. You're going to have nights where there's foul troubles or the starters just struggle. So you need a strong bench to remain consistent in this league.
Here's Bradley following the basket by Julius Randle.
And you know what? You can't get a better screen. Frees him up beautifully, but he just fails to capitalize.
Oh, man, he'd love to have that one back. He just does everything right, but doesn't get the finish.
And Gallinari kicks to Harris. Kicks it out to Bradley. And two free throws coming up. Unable to get that one to go with all the contact. You know, Kobe, you played 20 years in the NBA. Sports medicine and training becoming increasingly important for extending careers, keeping guys on the floor. How far has that science come in the time from you when you entered the league until the time that you retired last year?
Well, it helped me play 20 years.
Yeah, right. You know? But different methods all the way. Huh?
Different methods all the way. I mean, it's when I first came in the league and understanding what sports medicine was at the time and the research on recovery, and as the years went on, more science and research started coming out on the benefits of contrast therapy, of ice baths, and surgical procedures. Like, you know, if I would have ruptured my Achilles years ago, I never would have come back from that. You know, now, you know, my Achilles, even as I sit here today, it's like I never hurt it.
No kidding.
It's amazing.
He's off on the second. And Kobe, in your opinion, what's been the common thread for all these advances in sports medicine?
I think it's the minds. It's the minds of people in medicine that are constantly pushing the industry forward. And, you know, it's our responsibility and the team's responsibility to find these great minds and turn them loose, right? And trust them with the process, trust them with your athlete. But the key is you have to find the right ones.
Now here's Jordan. Brandon Ingram missing his last shot. Clock at 6. From deep. And the Clippers miss again. And there's the call on Tobias Harris. That is his first foul of the game. Lakers leading by 6. So, Kobe, in retrospect, what has caught your eye now, a year away from the game, that perhaps didn't resonate when you played the game?
The time required to do it, right? Because when you step away from the game, you realize all the things that you missed. You know, all the taking the kids here, being there, being at home with them, just giving, you know, our newborn baby a bath every single night, like those things, right? But when you're playing, you're so immersed, so obsessed over the game.
That's your child.
That you don't even realize what you're missing. You don't even know. Like, I don't even see it. Wasn't even aware. You know, so having that perspective now is, you know, has changed things.
That's good from Harris. Davis drops them both. Hey, Kobe, you know, when you take a look at great NBA rivalries, your mind goes more to the past than the present. I'm not sure why that is, but maybe you can enlighten us why rivalries seem to matter more or were more in our minds from yesteryear as opposed to today.
Because we can recall where we were when. Right?
Yeah,
the recollection is always more powerful in retrospect, right? I mean, that's always, you remember where you were when, you know, Magic hit that running hook shot.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Some people can remember where they were when Nelson hit that shot that bounced off the back of the rim and almost touched the rafters and fell back in, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I think it's those memories that create a lasting impact. And even though in today's game, you can look at it and say, there's no real rivalries in today's game. There are. But they're only sink in over time.
So you think the Cleveland-Golden State rivalry, because the greats are on opposite sides there, will linger and will resonate like that?
Absolutely.
From deep, Gallinari sinks the triple. Gallinari's got 7 points in the game. Kobe, a big part of the talent evaluation today is the psychological impact and that aspect, which I think will lead teams toward one prospect over another. If you were looking for personality traits in players and you were making that decision for a team, what trait would you value the most in a player?
No, curiosity. Without a shadow of a doubt, it's curiosity.
Why so?
Because curious people will always ask why things work or don't work.
And you were a big why asker.
You have to, because that's the only reason you win, is when you can figure out why things happen or didn't happen. Right? If you lose a game, a curious person won't point the finger. A curious person will say, well, why did we lose? You know, instead of just saying them, right. They're going to go back and check the film and ask questions. Okay, why did we mess up there? Why did we blow that coverage there?
Here's Ball. Following the basket by DeAndre Jordan. Ball gets that one to drop. First one of the game after 4 straight misses. Well, it seems like with more threes and more skill-based play, the league is adapting more of a European style of play. You grew up in Italy, Kobe. You know about that style. You appreciated that style. How did that impact your personal development as a player?
Well, tremendously. I mean, if you look at the era in which I grew up in Italy, you look at the players that came out of it. I mean, it's myself, Pau Gasol, Manu Ginobili. I mean, there's a lot of players that grew up in that same time frame that play the game fundamentally sound, because I think all of the coaches here in America are doing camps and clinics for coaches overseas.
Like Hubie Brown, right?
Exactly.
He would always go overseas in the summer. Yeah.
Exactly. And so we were products of that teaching. So all of our coaches growing up were implementing the fundamentals and the basics of the game taught by these amazing American coaches. And so we're kind of fortunate in terms of the time that we grew up.
And you look at the NBA today and the social media, Kobe, a lot easier for NBA players to connect with fans over that social media platform. However, it's also easier to get people in trouble. Players have got to keep that periscope up, so to say. How hard do you think that is to manage?
Well, you know, I think now in this particular generation, the sensitivity towards things you may hear or see on social media is much different than it would have been years ago. In other words, nowadays for athletes to be on social media, it's more easily tolerable for them to say something, right? Or to be able to speak their mind.
Yes.
And I think the important thing is just the consistency in that. You know, if you have a thought and you want to say it, right? Put it out on social media. Do whatever it is that you want to do with it. The key is just to be consistent and be who you are, not be afraid to be who you are.
So it's the Lakers now after the Clippers pick up 2. Lopez, a screen on Gallinari. Here's Ingram. Los Angeles with another miss.
Just not his night so far, guys.
So I think for players, Kobe, when they've been criticized on social media, I think they feel it's better to sleep on a reply and see if that same thought still resonates the next morning, because a lot of in the heat of a post game, you read something, guys go off.
Yeah, they do. And at the same time, when that does happen, because it's going to happen, no matter how many times we say it, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And when it does happen, to be able to step back and say, okay, yeah, that's how I felt in the moment, and I said what I felt.
Yeah.
And here's why I felt that way. And now you're ready to move on. I mean, it's a lot like life. I mean, people say stuff all the time that they don't necessarily mean, right?
I never felt, though, that you ever said anything that you truly did not believe in your heart.
Yeah, well, I think most people do, right? When you're having a moment, you're looking at it, you say, you know what, should I send this out on social media? Yeah, I really believe this. I really do. And then you send it, and the next morning you're like, oh, no, what did I? What?
You had no regrets, though?
No. I mean, everything's a life lesson for me.
For all of us.
Yeah.
And the Clippers decide to take their first timeout here. Both teams deciding to change it up. Here is a list of the NBA's most adept passing teams this season. These are your assist leaders. 5th, the Clippers.
And a team that shares the ball will create opportunities for the right player to score.
And so here are the Clippers. They trail by 3. Here's Williams on the mark with the 15-footer. Williams has got 4 points now in the quarter.
Well, after a tough first quarter, it didn't get to him in any way. He's really stepped up here in the second quarter.
It's tipped. Again, Los Angeles.
Moving it around, 8 of their last 10 coming off assists.
Thomas dishes to Ennis. 1:36 left in the second quarter. That's good from Thomas on the assist by Ennis. Thomas got 20 points.
And at the offensive end, he's done about as much as they could have hoped for today.
On the wing, Williams. That's good. Basket number 5 on a 5-for-8 night shooting.
Well, he made some kind of adjustment to his game after a poor first half. He's been impressive shooting the ball during the second.
Well, Kobe, I know you've got to go, but it's been a real treat for you to join us tonight. I know our fans have all enjoyed the broadcast. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for having me, man. Looking forward to doing this again.
The great Kobe Bryant. And Brent, you know firsthand the level of basketball IQ Kobe had when he played. Always interesting to hear what he has to say about the game.
Well, absolutely, Kevin. Kobe's one of the ultimate competitors and understands every nuance of the game. So nice to have some Mamba moments here for us.
And pushing it up, here's Los Angeles. Kuzma passes to Randall. Rebound by Harrell. Harrell's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Here's Rivers. Up and in, off to an efficient start. 2 for 3 from the field.
Austin feeling the pull-up that time, reading the defense and not deciding to take it too far into the D.
And there's the pass to Kuzma. Back to Thomas. Over Williams. The Clippers grab the miss. Marjanovic has got his 4th rebound in this one. Harrell kicks to Rivers. Back to Harrell. Over Randall. Here's Teodosic. No good on the buzzer beater. And the first half comes to a conclusion in a game that has been very close so far. Los Angeles on top, leading by just 1. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Here with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. And Kentavious, you guys were getting a lot of offensive rebounds in the first half. How important was that?
Oh, man, they was important, man. We got to keep them off the glass. We can't get them second shot, and we got offensive rebounds too as well. Get us some second chance at the basket and just keep working hard.
Well, you made it work in the first half, KCP. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. And stay with us, folks. We'll be back just after halftime to get the third quarter started.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello, folks. Welcome back. Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. This is the halftime show on 2K Sports. It was Isaiah Thomas who got hot in the first. He had 20 points, 2 assists, and 1 steal. And let's get your thoughts, Kenny, on the Lakers.
Well, there was one pleasant surprise, and that was the bench. They gave them a big lift. Those guys came into the game, they did all the dirty work, and they scored baskets.
Shaq, what was your takeaway on the Clippers?
I like the way they rebounded. They devoted a lot of energy down low, fighting for each other on the boards, and they helped keep this game tight. If they can continue to do that, it could easily be the factor that swings the game in their favor.
And we're just about ready for the start of the third quarter. Kevin Harlan standing by. We'll see you.
Here we go now, the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far. We're seeing a tremendous game from Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, good things happen when you maintain composure. Their shot selection has been extremely disciplined.
Hey, Greg, is there a shot that he's taken that has been out of the flow of the offense? I don't think so.
And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now. The Lakers in the lead. And the Lakers, Greg, for a long time could rely on the lure of Los Angeles to draw top free agents. History does a lot, it seems.
Yeah, Paul George listing them on his short list shows they still have that pull, but the Lakers will be big players in free agency, I believe, in the near future.
Getting underway in the second half. Here's the 5 for Doc Rivers. They've got Gallinari. Tobias Harris is out there with DeAndre Jordan. Then there's Bradley, and it's Beverly in at the 1 spot. As we approach the fourth quarter, still anyone's ball game.
Yeah, neither team able to create much of a cushion.
Ball kicks to Lopez. It's Ingram on the wing. Gallinari covering. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. That one on Gallinari. And Brandon Ingram, the second overall pick in 2016 out of Duke. What do you make of his rookie season?
You know, very much a work in progress. You have to remember how young he is. Didn't turn 19 until 3 months before the draft. And he's still rail thin. So he's got a chance to improve very quickly over the next few seasons as his body continues to mature.
He misses the free throw. So many naturally born playmakers and natural-born scorers who have learned to become playmakers. That's kind of an interesting topic. Who do you think right now tops that list?
One guy that's pretty peculiar in that sense, I think, Kevin, is Jeff Teague. You know, so many years of success in Atlanta, but it was built around this team and the system and the fragility of what it was that those guys could do and needed to do for that team to win. I think that Jeff Teague has made himself into a much better playmaker in the NBA.
Off the left rim and out. The Lakers trail. Randall dishes the ball. Second half of basketball, just over a minute played so far. Randall passes the ball. Back to Randall. It's a nice passing here by Los Angeles. And Caldwell Pope gets the basket.
The defense a step slow, and you can see the results.
Caldwell Pope's gone 2 of 4 from the field. And here's Beverly. A look at his stats. He averages a bit over 8 points a game. Harris kicks to Jordan. And DeAndre Jordan throws it down.
Well, this is where DeAndre Jordan's speed as a big pays off. A super dangerous pick-and-roll player when he sprints out of it.
The Lakers shooting in this game, 45%. Dishes it to Randall. There's the screen. Feeds it to Ingram. And another basket for the Lakers. And now around 2 minutes gone by in this half. Now here's Beverly. He's guarded closely. Down to 5 on the shot clock. The shot's good. Beverly's got the game tied up here for the Clippers.
And you gotta love the big bucket in the paint in this sort of a grinded out game.
The dish to Randall. He feeds it to Ball. Pass to Lopez. To the middle. Randall kicks to Ingram. Takes a shot at the elbow. The Clippers grab the miss. Jordan's got 10 rebounds here tonight. So active. Bradley dishes to Harris. And it goes out of bounds. That one's off Bradley.
Some turnovers necessary. That one, not so much.
Channing Frye's checked in for Julius Randle. Third quarter here, and 3 minutes have come off the clock. Now, here's Ball. Defended by Beverly. Ball kicks to Caldwell Pope. Just 5 on the clock. Lopez a screen. Rejected by Harris. They retain possession. And there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time. Clippers have gone 3 of 4 so far in the third quarter from the field. Pretty good start to the half. Good for basket number 7 tonight on a not so unlucky 13 shots.
And now they're starting to pound the basketball inside.
Lakers have gone 2 of 4 here to start the second half. Ball kicks to Caldwell Pope. He dishes it to Ball. Shot clock at 5. To the inside. Lopez. And Lopez throws it down.
Yeah, and Ball, a transcendent talent, I think has a real skill for finding his teammates when they have those good looks at the rim.
Now here's Beverly. 6 points for him. Harris misses. Ingram with it. Lopez left side. Over Jordan. Not enough on that one as it misses. Clippers have gone 4 of 6 from the field since the start of the third. And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for 2. And a look here at the shot chart for Thomas.
And right now, there's nothing the defense can do. You can see them stretching further and further out to guard him beyond the arc, but he just keeps knocking down big 3 after big 3. As a fan, you love it. And as a defender, you just hope it ends soon.
2 shots.
First one falls for him. And Brent, of course, you started your career with the Clippers and played for him for several seasons. Looking back, do you have a moment that you describe as your favorite with that team?
I think my favorite moment, Kevin, was playing a game against the Phoenix Suns and ended up being a very close and competitive contest. And I ended up making a game winner against the Suns. But the coolest part about it was after the game when Charles came by as I was making my way out of the arena and came over and said, "Nice job, Rook." I appreciated that very much.
Now here's Ball. Defended by Beverly. Gallinari with the steal. Bradley against Caldwell Pope. Over in the corner, Beverly. Back to Harris. Fires from the corner, and that's good for 2. Harris has got 22 points.
And Beverly, not a volume playmaker, but he always makes smart decisions with the basketball.
Caldwell Pope kicks to Fry. Lopez outside. 6 to shoot, and there's the 3-second call, this one on the defense. The Lakers have gone 4 of 6 so far from the line, missing a couple.
And they've been ordinary on the season as well, just about 75% from the line.
And no good on the technicals, so unable to pick that one up. And the Lakers, Greg, have acquired some intriguing young talent. Do you see this group blossoming into elite status?
I mean, there's still some question marks. Injuries have been an issue. I do see some all-star potential for some of their young fellas. Superstar potential, though, tougher to say. They've got something to build on, though, and that's key.
And a tough game for the guys around him, mainly because his shot's been hit and miss.
A nice shot by Rivers.
Aggressive move off the dribble. You could see the confidence growing right now for Austin Rivers.
Lakers trail by 6. Kicks it to Fry. Now Ball. He's been a reliable scorer for him as he's averaging up over 13 points a game. Here's Ingram. Jordan with the rebound. Jordan's got rebound number 12 here already in the game. Rivers kicks to Harris. Plays it up off the glass. And it's an 8-point Los Angeles lead.
And of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is just smash mouth physical basketball, guys.
Now here's Caldwell Pope. He has 5. Here's Ball. Lopez sets a screen for Ball. And he can't stop this drought. Another miss. Here's Rivers, and he's fouled on the shot. One free throw coming up.
That's what you get with a bigger guard, a guy that can carve out a little bit more space, and Rivers does a good job that time.
Well, you have to give a lot of credit to Austin Rivers for how he has improved since his rookie season.
And one big reason for Rivers earning his spot is his improved efficiency. Had trouble shooting from the mid-range and out early on, and worked on that part of his game, which opened up everything else for his skill.
We've heard the rumors, Brent, the death of the big man, but with guys like Towns and Porzingis and others entering the league that can play on the perimeter and still have that length to make a difference inside, could we see a big man renaissance, or at least maybe see him have more of an impact than people are giving him credit for right now?
Well, I think what we're seeing is the evolution of the 5 spot, Kevin. So it's not that the big man is lost. It's that the big man's doing a lot of the things that the little man used to be asked to do, and that is shooting threes, handle the ball, make some decisions at the top of the key, be a playmaker. It's fascinating to watch guys with this sort of size and this sort of skill, and also being this young, having such a tremendous impact for the organizations they're playing for.
And I think that play sort of sums up what we've seen tonight. Just simply being outplayed both sides of the ball. Smart basketball defensively, turning into easy points.
Now here's Thomas. 20 points for him. Ennis passes to Thomas. Shot to stop the drought. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And Isaiah Thomas, the 60th and final pick of the 2011 draft. Greg, he definitely plays with a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, I call it the little man syndrome. He's driven to prove himself. I mean, he's overcome the odds. In league history, only 9 players 5'9" or shorter have played 1,000 minutes or more in a season. And he's not just playing, he's playing at the highest level.
2.
And the first one drops. And both free throws good for Thomas.
And the Clippers are known as a high wire act, and rightfully so with their stars. This team is also one that can at times lock it down defensively. I don't think they get enough credit for what they do on that side of the ball.
Marjanovic, no good. Lakers trail by 11. Williams comes with a double team. Out left to the wing. Thomas against Williams. They set the screen. And the rejection by Marjanovic. The kick out to Williams over Thomas. And it's in after a nice bounce off the right side. Williams has got the lead up to 13 now for Los Angeles. The Lakers shooting an ugly 27% since halftime. The Clippers not a team known for their defense, but quite often the last few years, it's been the deciding factor for them in games.
Yeah, and I think it starts with the pressure they place on ball handlers. They can throw double teams or pick up far out from the hoop. They've got shot blocking inside to erase mistakes as well.
Los Angeles leading by 13. Now here's Rivers. He's got 9. Outside Williams. Marjanovic down low. Zubac's defending. Count the basket.
And they've had assists now on their last 3 baskets.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
Kuzma. Offensive rebound. And the rejection by Marjanovic. Out of bounds, the Clippers take possession. And how is the West shaping up, guys? Well, let's take a moment here to check it out now that the mid-season grind is well underway. You look at the Clippers. They're down in 10th place here in the middle part of the season. They'll need to make a move soon. And, of course, the Lakers. They're 5 spots away.
You know, for Los Angeles, they've basically lived up to the expectations so far this season, and that's not really good news for their fan base because those expectations only had them on the brink of the playoffs.
Unfortunately, those expectations were right on the money. They just weren't ready to join that elite group of teams at the top of this league. And they're still in the playoff picture, and we all know anything can happen in the postseason.
And with their hot shooting here in the second half, their field goal percentage over 50% now for the game.
Williams against Thomas. He kicks it to Fry. The feed to Ennis. From 15 feet away, he can't get that one to fall. And it's the Clippers taking it the other way. Last time they met was in Los Angeles.
And the last time they faced this club, rebounding was their big advantage.
Outside Williams. Pass to Harrell. Here's Rivers. His three-pointers off the mark. Lakers trail by 17. 1:44 left in the third quarter of the game. Thomas, no good. The Clippers shooting it up around 51%. They're getting good looks. Teodosic, the pass to Williams. Here's Teodosic. Shoots the three. It's hauled in by Fry. Fry's got rebound number 5 here tonight. Los Angeles making a switch here. Randall's checked in. The Lakers shooting 39% from the floor. Not their best. Here's the screen. Ennis passes to Kuzma. And the rejection by Marjanovic. Here's Teodosic. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game to stop the drought. And it's Ennis that time on the assist by Thomas. Thomas got 3 assists tonight.
Out quickly, then the beautiful execution. You can't do it any better.
Well, there's running the floor, and then there's running the floor with purpose. And I love the energy on this play.
And the rejection by Zubac. Takes a 3. And Thomas is good for 3. Thomas got 25 points.
Well, if they're going to win this game, he's going to require just a little bit of help. Many of the shots he's taking are finding the hoop.
There's a screen by Marjanovic. And that one's good. Teodosic. Teodosic has got 4 points this quarter.
Up by a bunch. He's still pushing the action, trying to impose his will.
Well, collectively, they've done it tonight here. A passionate performance from the squad.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding numbers as well. And you can see the defenders afraid to kind of get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket. But on that one, they were there.
Picked by Randall. It's Thomas outside, but they get it back.
Yeah, maybe a little luck, maybe a little bit of heart. Both of those at play here. He's getting every offensive rebound.
And so it's Los Angeles, sitting with a comfortable lead up by 14. And it's been their rugged defense setting the tone. And don't go away. We'll be right back. And we welcome you back as we get going here in the fourth quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. Los Angeles leading by 14. All right, now a chance to set the floor courtesy of Gatorade. Fourth quarter action, all fueled up and ready to go. So the Lakers 5 right now. We've got Ennis. Ivica Zubac is out there with Julius Randle. Then it's Thomas, and it's Kuzma in at small forward. Here is Thomas, following the score by Avery Bradley. Thomas kicks to Randle. The fadeaway. It's hauled in by the Clippers. Following this one, they get to host the Hornets. That game marks the start of a 5-game homestand, their longest of the season. The Lakers shooting a lackluster 38% for the game, struggling so far. Dives for it, and that's going to be too many steps. Gets the whistle on the travel. Ball's checked in for the Lakers. The Clippers also making some changes. Jordan comes in for Marjanovic, and it's Gallinari in for Austin Rivers. The Clippers shooting straight 49% from the field. Bradley drives in, Harrell, and Harrell slams it in.
Leaping ability is off the charts. Not the biggest power forward, but outstanding at rising up off the ground.
We've played just over 1 minute here in the fourth quarter. They set the pick. Shot clock at 6. From deep, Thomas. It's hauled in by DeAndre Jordan.
And close to making the defense pay for the lax coverage that time.
And as good as Gallinari can be on the offensive side, Greg, he's a bit of a one-way player.
Yeah, and Gallinari is best in a situation where you can kind of hide him on defense. You want him out there on the floor due to his genius in terms of the offensive game, but he can't hang with most starting caliber forwards defensively.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
That free throw good from Gallinari. Brent, when you were playing in Seattle, those were the best assist years statistically of your career. What led you to become such a catalyst for that offense?
Well, it was interesting just as I finally got an opportunity to start to play with the basketball as a 2-guard a little bit more in Seattle, trying to play a little bit more up-tempo. And again, I'll mention opportunities because of Gary Payton getting double-teamed. It opened up situations for me, Kevin, where I could be a bit more creative as the off guard.
And you love that, didn't you?
I love playing that way. I wish I had more years of doing that, kind of the run-and-gun style that Phoenix employed for most of the mid-2000s with that 7 seconds or less. I could have been agreeable with that.
Now here's Ingram. Over Bradley. And it comes off the front of the rim.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in the driver's seat.
Wow, huge sigh of relief for the defense on that possession. You cannot give mid-range shooters any space like that to operate.
Thomas with another miss. Clippers leading by 20. Harris kicks to Jordan. It's a nice passing here by Los Angeles. And it's Gallinari missing. The Lakers have gotten off to a rough start in the fourth quarter, going 0 for 4 so far. He gets that one. That's 10 points for Brandon Ingram.
And not only can Ingram score from the perimeter, but he can also contribute inside. The way he releases his shot makes it very difficult to block.
They set the pick. Here's Harris. And it's sent back by Lopez. Randall against Harris. Lopez sets a screen for Ingram. Over Gallinari. DeAndre Jordan grabs the miss. Jordan's got rebound number 17, if you can believe that. It's Bradley on the wing. He's guarded by Thomas. And it's Gallinari again missing.
And they still need to step up just a little bit. They have the lead, but he needs to find himself out there.
Ball no good. For Los Angeles, they've gone 2 of 7 from the field in what's been a cold start to the fourth quarter for them. Bradley kicks to Gallinari. And denied. He sends it right off the glass. Los Angeles calls timeout.
And one thing they'll discuss are their defensive rotations. The other is in the matchups.
We're seeing very little help defense on the inside. And even when there is help, it's been ineffective.
And Julius Randle, that 7th pick back in the 14 draft out of Kentucky, was a 5-star recruit out of high school and was able to help get the Wildcats to the championship round. So this is a guy who is used to the spotlight.
Caldwell Pope, he's checked in for Thomas. Lopez a screen. Ingram wide open. Randall controls the rebound and puts it back up and in.
And those second chance points really become almost like bonus points when you can get them.
And slam dunk by Harris.
No clue how he got that one to fall.
And Julius Randle with an intriguing game, a great rebounder. He's a pretty good ball handler for his size, too.
Yeah, he likes to rip it and run, and very athletic when he gets ahead of steam, and, boy, he can be tough to contain.
One shot, gentlemen.
The free throw off from Harris. Granted, is an era of shorter player contracts, sometimes with opt-outs after 1 or 2 years. Does that breed too much of a win-now mentality among teams?
Oh, so shorter contracts, Kevin, but taller players?
Yeah, exactly. You've got it.
Okay, all right. You know, it's interesting the way that teams want to set themselves up. Obviously, if you have a bona fide star, you want to do what you can to lock him up and have him as part of your organization and the concrete and the foundation for what you do moving forward. But a lot of guys certainly on the move and on loan for seasons where they want to take a shot at the true contenders.
Now here's Beverly. Brandon Ingram missing his last shot. And it's Gallinari missing.
Yeah, tonight his shot's been a bit off, but still, they lead the game.
And that one's good. Ingram.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
To the middle, Ingram with the steal. And now Ball pushing it up. No one back to stop him.
Yeah, and Ball constantly looking for ways to come up with steals. Outstanding at covering a lot of ground with his overall length.
Now here's Bradley. To the paint, off the screen, and Harris gets it to go on the assist by Bradley. That's 28 points for Tobias Harris. Lakers trail by 16. Out to the right wing. Ball dishes to Lopez. And it's wide right. Hits off the rim.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
Pass to Jordan. Feeds it to Gallinari. The pass to Harris. Shot clock at 5. From outside the arc. And Gallinari good for 3. And the Clippers lead by 19.
First 3 of the half, second of the game. Can he heat up?
Randall kicks to Caldwell Pope to the inside and stolen by Jordan. They get it back and Caldwell Pope gets the basket.
Yeah, and then knifing into the middle. Caldwell Pope, not just a perimeter threat. Young fella can elevate.
Now here's Beverly. He's guarded closely. Bradley with the ball. Now guarded by Caldwell Pope. Shot clock at 6. Bradley kicks to Beverly. Launches it. Bradley can't get it to go. Lakers trail by 17. And here they go. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here.
Love how Ingram toys with the opposition, drawing contact very easily on these kinds of attempts.
Two.
And that one falls for Ingram.
And really no other way to put it, but the Lakers with that dramatic front office change last season around that deadline and new big name leadership. The hope is that they can escape from what's been an awfully rocky patch here of Lakers history.
Good on both. And the turmoil for the Lakers up top has certainly been fodder for the newspapers in Southern California.
Yeah, aborted takeover attempts, infighting, court battles. I mean, this has been a soap opera. But one thing is certain, in order to be successful as a franchise, you need everybody on the same page.
Now here's Bradley. Gallinari in the corner. Off target from outside.
And he's been way off the mark this quarter. It's been ugly.
And Caldwell Pope gets the basket.
And he is starting to turn it on now after that slow start.
Clippers leading by 13. And here's Beverly. Outside Bradley. There's the three. But they'll get another chance. Jordan kicks to Bradley. The second chance effort. The shot, no good. Caldwell Pope with some nice D.
Got to get out his compass and just try to find himself right now and get himself going.
Here's Lopez. Some solid defense from Harris.
I give the defense a C+ on that possession, but still, I'm sure he's upset he missed.
And Bradley gets it to go.
And I love that move for this guy. When he's in rhythm, that's money.
Caldwell Pope kicks to Ingram. From downtown. That shot by Caldwell Pope, no good.
And that's a rare sight. Usually shooters make the defense pay when they're that lackadaisical.
Over to the left wing. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle and 2 shots coming up. That's on Brook Lopez.
Well, Clippers and bad luck seem to go hand in hand. Just some tough breaks during the postseason for this franchise over the past couple of seasons. Consistently matching up with tough teams in the playoffs and not ever quite getting over the hump.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
No good on that one. And to add to the Clippers' woes, when they've been poised to be a contender, they've had to face some of the all-time great teams like the Warriors and the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, it feels like that's the right spot for the Clippers to be, right, Kevin? I mean, for so many decades that the team, as soon as it found a competitive championship caliber roster, would end up facing foes that they did. Not only that, they had some injuries that set them back as well. So close, but not ever able to get over the hump.
With the premium placed in outside shooting, Brent, plus defensive rules that lessen the need to defend in isolation, will we see guys playing for more years than ever before? Less wear and tear because there's less of it inside in games.
No, it's a great point, Kevin. I think that you're right about that. I also think that whatever we're doing off the court in terms of the players with nutrition and training regimen, that's going to be another reason why we'll see players be very effective well into their late 30s and sometimes into their early 40s, which is about my limit, Kev. I'm still effective at 45.
You are. Very effective at 45. Randall passes to Lopez. And there's the call on DeAndre Jordan. That's foul number 2 for him. Here's Caldwell Pope.
And the execution in their half-court offense has left a lot to be desired this half. Just way too much one-on-one and not nearly enough ball movement.
Chalk up 2 there. 12 points for Avery Bradley.
Just increasing their advantage, and right now they're in a zone on both ends.
Love their strategy, and they've been able to execute on it, building a huge lead.
And the Lakers call time here.
And Avery Bradley won the national high school title at Findlay Prep and was considered a top 5 prospect. Some had him even at number 1, and still after 1 season at Texas, he fell to the Celtics at 19 in that 2010 draft.
So it's the Lakers now. It's Ingram on the wing. Wants to get it to Randall and does.
And the passing of Ingram, setting up his teammates and distributing the ball effortlessly.
Los Angeles leading by 18. And Beverly kicks to Harris. Gallinari on the wing. Clippers moving the ball around. Dishes it to Beverly. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. And the Clippers lead by 20.
And where's the fight defensively? I mean, you know you need stops, to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, down by double digits, failing to shut down the lane. It has been a rough night. Hard to leave any NBA player that wide open from that distance.
They set the screen. Bradley dishes to Harris. Back to Bradley. To the paint. Harris passes to Bradley. Bradley with another miss. Lakers shooting in the fourth quarter has looked shabby, 38%. It's stolen by Bradley. Right wing. And Beverly kicks to Harris. A rebound by the Lakers. Lopez has got 7 rebounds in the game. Ingram, good on the triple. Ingram's got 13 points here in the second half alone.
And when Ingram is left alone from deep, his eyes light up. His shooting is just out of this world. And this is what they wanted. I mean, to announce their presence in this matchup with authority, very decisive. It can definitely be considered a statement win for Los Angeles.
You know, their big advantage was points in the paint.
And they found a way to pound the ball inside. And that was working all game long.
And for the year now, they'll be tallying their 16th win.
And they will walk out of here feeling really good about themselves today, guys. A big win over a conference foe they'd split their previous 2 games with.
And while there was some nice performances tonight, it definitely ended up being a solid outing for DeAndre Jordan.
And the way he rebounded, he surely was a spark for the team as he was securing everything that came off the iron.
Los Angeles calls timeout. They lead by 15. 1:10 left in the fourth. A platoon swap here for the Clippers. Harrell kicks to Marjanovic. Passes it to Teodosic. And the rejection by Zubac. Ball with the bucket.
And the intelligence, his overall basketball IQ, Ball just has a knack for being in the right spot, especially when the break is on.
Now here's Williams. And the rejection by Zubac. Williams against Thomas. Goes back up. It's hauled in by Los Angeles. They led the game at 1 point by 20. Williams for 3. They get it back. And that one's good. Marjanovic. And the Clippers lead by 15.
Yeah, with this lead, that's probably going to do it. Fans heading for the exits.
Now the team came in fired up from the opening tip. You could see the focus. They're ready to do battle.
Shot and game clock separated by 5. Thomas's shot is off.
The defensive reaction time, it was just immediate on that one.
And sometimes the most important part of that is the angle that the defender chooses. That time he chose wisely.
We've got 13 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Outside Williams. So the Clippers winning this one easily. They came in here and took care of business like they were the home team.
And Kevin, how about the mental toughness that this group showed? They were never rattled at all by the opposing fans.
And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thanks very much. Danilo, transition, big for your team. I assume that was a big focus tonight.
Yes, we want to run, and that's what we have to do every time. So that's what we did, and we played a great game.
Gallo, thanks very much. Congrats again. Back to you, Kevin.
David, thank you as always. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For Brent Barry, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.